Hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Shayyar's Voice, and it's been a while since I recorded one. Today I have with me Sajeer Sheikh, who is a writer slash journalist slash content creator slash content consultant, and anything that you would like to add as well. Sajeer did her bachelor's in mass communication and media studies from Savist, Karachi, I suppose, and since then she's been working for a variety of publications, Pakistan, mein, including the infamous Mango Bars and like all other, and including Express Tribune as well. So let's begin. Sajid, how are you? How's Karachi?
I'm doing okay. Karachi is not great, obviously. Weather
Yeah.
wise,
I was just there like
barish
2 weeks. I was just there 2 weeks ago, so I kind of know as well. Like I just came back. Yeah,
How
it's
did you leave with all the rain? Is what I want to understand.
नहीं, I was there. मैं आ गया था end of July, so I was there for almost like 1.5 month. So I left
Oh,
on yeah, I left on the my flight was on the 10th of September, so I flew back.
listen,
So
you should have hit up like either me or Shazad. We could have all
I
just
I
met.
did I did meet Shazad. उसका like I पहले तो मैंने I reached out to him and he was like कि अभी पानी बहुत है, like where I live and all. Then there was this stand up show flood victims के लिए उधर बुखारी पे ही एक कोई कैफे था. So I went there.
Correct.
Other stand up artists were there as well. So I met Shazad over there. बाद में like I met it at a chai place or something. But yeah, I've been meaning to meet him. मैंने उसको लेकिन उस वक्त बारिशें इतनी हो रही थी, like July August was just so मतलब it was the worst time to go to Karachi, seriously.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's not been great for the past few
Yeah,
years.
it's since 2020 I suppose.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, since 20 for sure.
yeah, okay, let's वापस थोड़ा सा topic तो नहीं, but like generally why I reached out to you as well, because for someone like me who did his bachelor's, lump se पढ़ लिया, but I was always into, I would say, what you're doing right now, generally writing and working for newspapers or like consulting for brands about their image and all. But I never got into that career path Pakistan में, because I don't know, I was probably the only thing in my mind was कि यार मैंने इतनी महंगी डिग्री करी है और अब मैं ऐसी नौकरी करूंगा जहाँ पे either I'll be underpaid or I might not be paid at all. So that was my
Yeah.
first question. You're doing this since you graduated, and how have you been navigating all of this? Because I know a lot of publications and all of these places in Pakistan which hardly pay anything to their very talented writers. So let's
Yeah.
begin with that.
So fun fact, I've actually been doing this since before I graduated.
Yeah.
Uh, I started working when I was 19, and so I'm not going to name any publication at all because I've worked for a few and they're all great in their own right. But when I started sending my pieces to random publications, whenever something would get published, like the idea that I have to get paid for it didn't even cross my mind. I was 19. I didn't know anything. Like I come from a family of doctors. There was nobody here to like guide me on the fact that like आपको पैसे भी मिलने होते हैं चीजों के.
Yeah.
So I was, oh shit, मेरा piece publish हो गया. I'm so happy. I sent it to everybody. फिर पता नहीं randomly मुझे 6 महीने बाद कोई एक ना चेक आया, तो पता नहीं क्या आया था ना. I was like, wait, what is this for? I don't understand. वो भी खैर पूरे पैसे नहीं आए थे, but eventually when I did, so money has always been very just something that I haven't thought of, because I thought that when you switch from a career that you don't want to do, which is medicine in my case, to something like writing and you want to make a living out of it, the first few years you struggle a bit. This was my understanding, right?
True.
So my version of struggle included just not questioning pay scales and also just genuinely not thinking about compensation as for the first few years at all. Would I go back and change that? Absolutely. I know better now. But I think that when it comes to being underpaid and overworked, that is a very legitimate issue. And that really sort of comes to bite you in the ass when you are studying and working and you're realizing that, okay, maybe there's something wrong here. And then you start asking those questions and conversations either lead somewhere or they don't, and you have your answer one way or another. But it's definitely something like if anybody is trying to, get into this field, and if anybody's trying to, like if anybody thinks that struggle करने के लिए पैसा नहीं मिलना जरूरी है, even people are now advocating for paid internships, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it was beyond my imagination. Even
Yeah,
yeah.
I never got
So
that idea. I used to think it was something like मतलब मुझे समझ नहीं आती थी लोग accept किस तरह कर लेते हैं unpaid internships. Like I have
हाँ,
no
तो
clue.
मैंने तो की वो है, क्योंकि मैं
मैंने भी
हूँ
की हुई मैं
पागल।
I am guilty as well. मैंने भी की हुई है but
So
yeah.
when you're trying to get into a field and you have the body of work to back it up, or you have the skills to back it up, I would say stand up for in those instances. If there is a place that does not value your work and they want to get cheap labor, that's probably not the kind of place you want to work for in the first place.
Yeah, that's important. एक और connecting to this as well, because what I think is I've seen a lot of people who are like probably better writers than probably me and you as well, and they're into this field and they're very passionate. But I think, do you think इसके अंदर थोड़ा सा class का एक factor आता है? Because you just said आपने unpaid internship करी है, मैंने भी करी है. But क्योंकि हमारे पास वो time था spare करने के लिए कि rather than along with our studies working at a call center, working somewhere else with like good money, we were doing an unpaid internship for our own passion. But do you think इसके अंदर एक class का factor आता है? Because I know a lot of hi-fi places even in Islamabad, like all these policy institutes and all. And मैंने LinkedIn पे ही पढ़ा था, I know some people जब आप वहाँ पे जाते हो for an internship, so if they think that you come from a certain class, SEC A, B in Pakistan, they're like, ठीक है बस आप आ जाना, आप काम कर लेना, and stipend देने के तो पैसे नहीं है हमारे पास, and all of these factors. Do you think class plays a part here as well?
I, I would go further and say that the exploitation, I think, is even more severe when it comes to people who don't look like they're from SEC A and B, and the people who are in the hiring committee or the people who are looking for interns are like, okay, like this person needs experience, we can exploit them. Because I knew
Yep.
people like, even when I was studying, they were like, doing an internship is like a thing you have to do when you're graduating as a media student, at least from my university. And I knew many people who were doing these internships. They were putting in the hours, like long hours, while doing a bunch of other things that were going on at university. And they like you could tell that it was taking a toll on them. And 110% class has everything to do with it. Like, I mean, when you think about it, you and I have like a certain safety net, right? कि हम लोग even the idea of following your passion, मतलब जितना मैंने अपने माँ बाप का पैसा जाया किया है, मुझे चपेट पड़नी चाहिए.
Exactly.
तो following your passion, ये सारा sounds great on paper, oh, I left my medicine career to like become a writer, but I wasted a fuck ton of money. ठीक है?
Yeah.
And safety net that I mean, I just happen to have, and a lot of people don't. So this idea of like, हाँ मैंने unpaid labor किया experience के लिए, 100%. Like, you need to have that safety net in order to make certain decisions as well. And there are just some people who have that and can afford a certain level of exploitation. Not that that's right either.
Yeah.
And then there are other people who have to pay the price in the form of their own mental well-being, physical well-being. And yeah, like those differences definitely exist.
Yeah. Were you in med school पहले? आप पहले like Zabis से पहले were you in med school or you left?
I was
मतलब
I was in med school, and as in I left 2 years late into med school, which is why I'm saying इतना पैसा
अच्छा
जाया किया.
अच्छा because like I saw your Zabist का like LinkedIn पे, and I thought you graduated like a year after me, and I'm like ये कैसे हो सकता है? Because like yeah, I was thinking that as well. So you were 2 years into med school and then you switched for a media degree. Yeah, I kind of can relate to that because I did a bachelor's in finance. Now I'm doing a master's in media, and I get that a lot as well. But one more thing which I want to say, like I had a question in mind. You obviously have colleagues and like friends who are, let's say, working for companies and like matlab layman terms, they're earning more than you. Like, just if I can say that. Like, and if you have to Karachi mein, jaise I know, I've matlab मैं सारी जिंदगी कराची में रहा हूँ, you have to maintain a certain, let's say, standard तो नहीं, but एक upkeep आपको रखनी होती है, because अगर आपके हफ्ते में एक दफा दो सैंडर्स खाना खाने जा रहे हैं और लाइक 500 600 रुपए की आइस लाटे पी रहे हैं, and I could feel that difference if I'm like freelancing or doing this or doing something else and my friends are working for like Harbourfront for any big company. Have you ever felt that? Have you ever like gone through that whole thinking process? Ke, I should have done something else as well, because at the end of the day, money is more important and I could like live a bit more like freely. Like, if you get my question.
Yeah. So that hits me not, it doesn't hit me when all of these things are going on. It hits me when I negotiate for a raise and I don't get it. I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe I wouldn't be facing this issue if I had like a 9 to 5, But ये जो सारा है अब okay, so my thing with this entire culture के like Xanders and coffee whatnot, I'm just a recent convert like when it comes to coffee, so like a lot of my money has never gone on coffee to begin with,
You're
but the
lucky.
upkeep,
You're lucky अगर ऐसा नहीं है तो. But
yeah,
yeah,
but the
sorry to cut you off. Yeah.
no, all good. So yeah, I've never understood. Simply maybe because of the kind of school that I went to, where this was such a big thing, like keeping up appearances and whatnot was such a big thing. Like you get tired of it. Like you eventually you're just like, yeah, say like I will straight up like tell my friends I'm broke. Like I can't do it. I'm broke.
Yeah.
And get the tab, I will get it. And I don't think that ever factors into anything, like लोगों को होता है कि like iPhone चाहिए, ये चाहिए, नहीं चाहिए मुझे, मैं
Yeah.
अपने कचरे फोन.
Yeah. Because Mera, like for the longest time, like when I was in, I did my A levels from Nixer, went to Lums, matlab wo ek typical, I did that journey. And when I came here, and I've been living here for 1 year now almost, और मुझे यहाँ पे आके realize हुआ कि you can tell people that you're broke, you can tell people that you don't have time, you can tell people that you're busy. मतलब कराची में तो like your friends can just are outside your place and calling you like बाहर आ जाओ. They don't care कि आप कोई काम कर रहे हो नहीं कर रहे, and all of these things. But मुझे अभी भी when I was in Karachi, I could feel it because I obviously went out with my friends, and the discussions around अच्छा जी iPhone 14 आ रहा है, वो सबसे पहले किसने लेना है, और फलां बंदे की शादी है तो उस शादी से पहले पहले ले लेते हैं ताकि we can take pictures. And these discussions are part of our, मतलब अगर हम डिनाई भी करें, हमारा एक सर्टेन सर्कल है कराची में जिधर ये डिस्कशंस होते हैं और बहुत ब्लेटेंटली होते हैं. But how, yeah, and how do you get out of it with like doing what you're doing or doing what other people are doing is a challenge in itself, I think. But yeah, वो class की भी हमने बात कर ली. I'll just move on a bit towards what I want to do is for anyone who's watching who probably wants to be a writer or who probably wants to work for newspapers and like different media companies. What would you say? Do you think a formal education in media is important? Like, आपने bachelor's किया, मैं भी चलो master's कर रहा हूँ, but like, do you think it's important to be, let's say, a good writer or any like a related role?
So I'll be very honest. While I loved the program that I was in for many reasons, I don't think that program made me a good writer. Not to sound like I'm bragging, but I was writing before that as well. Over the course of time, I think my skills got better because of the kind of work that I was doing. And I think that working is what really helps. Yes, absolutely, I would credit the fact that हाँ video edit करनी आ गई, थोड़ा सा After Effects सीख लिया, ये वो sound mix वगैरह करना सीख लिया. And I know that now I know कि अगर मैं laptop पे बैठी भी हूँ और ये मेरे पास 3-4 सॉफ्टवेयर्स हैं, मैं बैठ के कुछ तो कर सकती हूँ, like great. But again, that has nothing to do with my writing I've been doing since I was 8. Writing is something that comes with a lot of reading, it comes with a lot of practice, you get better over time. If you tell me to read something I wrote for Tribune back in 2016, I will like think it's the most disgusting thing ever. So I don't think that you need to have any sort of formal education when it comes to writing. You just need to like how to write, you need to know how to write, and you just need to read. Like honestly, up to at this point, like we also kind of don't have any like restrictions उस तरह के, जैसे अगर आपको let's say you feel like you're weak at grammar, तो Grammarly है, आप वो use कर लो, like there's
उसका
so many
प्रीमियम बहुत महंगा है वैसे Grammarly का.
just
Like,
know that I pay for everything. मैं सारा सस्ता काम करती हूँ, मेरा Spotify भी नकली वाला है, मैं I don't believe in paying
एक
for
सेकंड.
anything.
Yeah, I'll probably talk about this off camera कि Grammarly प्रीमियम लेने के और तरीके क्या हैं, वो हम बाद में बात करेंगे, but yeah, go on.
Okay, yeah. So, but I think that if you're a writer, you like. I know so many writers यार जिन्होंने नहीं लिया हुआ formal education, जो नहीं लेते formal education in this specific field, and they can write. And I don't think writing को like एक मतलब, it's like I feel one thing that is still a little bit, far away from the whole capitalist idea कि like everything you do must be commercial. ये वो, some people write because they like writing on the side, that, and some people write and they're not good writers and they still make money, so it's
Yeah.
I think if you like writing, formal education, I don't think it's that necessary. If you want to, great. If not, that's also fine.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, आपकी like.
Sorry, just to sort of tell people what I did when I started, was that I started pitching to random places, right? I think like a nice email where you pitch everything is going to be your best friend when it comes to all of these publications, especially local publications. They tend to reply. International publications फिर भी थोड़े a little snobby about the way you format and whatnot, and वो थोड़ा tedious हो जाता है. But local publications will reply, will respond. So if you have like a really strong article and you feel like हाँ मुझे लिखना है, there are many places that are looking for writers as well, even now. So I think just start pitching, honestly.
Yeah, and I saw your LinkedIn post the other day where you were like a lot of international companies or companies are now actively looking for like content creators and writers. And even after coming here, I realized that probably Europe की सबसे बड़ी content market is Amsterdam, where like they're looking for copywriters, content writers. They're literally looking for niche specific writers, like if you can write in Dutch, if you can write in French, English, and everything. And हमारे यहाँ हमेशा से ये इस चीज को इतना I won't say undermine, बट लाइक हमारे यहाँ यही होता है ना कि आई एम सब लाइक लेट्स सपोज आप भी जब बैचलर्स मीडिया कर रहे होगे, पीपल वर लाइक कि ये डिग्री करके मतलब क्या, मतलब लाइक यू लेफ्ट मेड स्कूल फॉर लाइक अ बैचलर्स इन मीडिया. एंड सेम इज विद मी एज वेल. आई डोंट, इट्स बिन अ ईयर नाउ और मेरी फैकल्टी में देयर इज नो अदर ब्राउन पर्सन. मतलब कोई पाकिस्तान, इंडिया, बांग्लादेश से कोई बंदा मेरी फैकल्टी में इस वक्त नहीं है. इट्स लाइक कंप्लीटली यूरोसेंट्रिक बिकॉज इट्स लाइक अ मीडिया प्रोग्राम. बट मतलब वही लाइक इट्स आई थिंक टाइम लगेगा लोगों को रियलाइज करने में, बिकॉज यू मतलब जरूरी नहीं है कि आप मीडिया पढ़ के आपको इसी फील्ड में जाना है. आई हैड फ्रेंड्स इन लम्स हु वर एंथ्रो सोशो मेजर्स एंड दे आर नाउ वर्किंग इन मैकेंजी. लाइक
Yeah.
मतलब exactly like formal education doesn't matter. Something else I want to talk about is probably the $1,000,000 question for every writer. Did you ever thought about niche? क्योंकि ये बड़ा हमारे सर पे ना ये niche वाला जो एक factor होता है कि first of all, instead in your writing I've seen a lot of culture and a lot of I would say some tech and like cultural commentary sort of है, like your piece on Indian matchmaking, I read that as well. And so have you ever thought about niche, or you're like कि चलो जिस चीज में I feel more into it, I'll just like start researching and writing about it?
So I've always sort of gravitated more towards social issues and whatnot, because that's how I also started. Like again, मैंने Tribune पे start ही वैसे किया था. That being said, I also found that it depends on the place you're at, right? Like, so if let's say I'm at a mango bars, the the content is more lifestyle-ish. Like there was an entertainment side to mango bars. I didn't get involved in it उतना ज़्यादा. लेकिन उधर में ज़्यादा lifestyle या थोड़ा वहाँ पे भी एक social activism का एक पूरा portal था, उस पे I used to work. But then when I with Tribune, I'm sort of doing a little bit more entertainment related stuff, but also like social activism. So I feel like this is a personal fault where I haven't been able to lock down a niche. But like for instance, recently I was with an entertainment platform, local entertainment platform, as the editor and writer, and it was great. Like in the sense, it was a new form of writing, but it also makes you realize that maybe you can be a little bit out of your depth sometimes. So it's really important that you feel very strongly about where you're at. Like if you feel like you want to write about issues and you have like a really good grasp on that, great. If you feel like you're an entertainment writer, great. If you feel like you're a tech writer, amazing. Beauty hai, pata nahi 50 ab to itni sari cheezein hain. Whatever you feel like wherever you fit in best, and that you can churn out those like quick pieces that will get you good money, or whatever it is that you're looking for, go for it.
Yeah. But also, like, what are your thoughts on, without naming any publication, what are your thoughts on, let's say, I like the clickbait culture, और जो पाकिस्तान में अब इतना मतलब इतना penetrate कर गया है, like even शहजाद की वो एक story थी कि white में लिखो और एक part को yellow कर दो, and वो जो इस तरह की headlines वाला चीजें आना शुरू हो जाती हैं. Because I used to work for this publication लम्स के दौरान, and उनका नया नया lifestyle section launch हुआ था. एंड आई स्टिल रिमेंबर कि उस जमाने में कोई वीना मलिक की कंट्रोवर्सी हुई थी. आई डोंट गेट इट. उन्होंने मुझे इतनी अजीब सी क्रीमी सी हेडलाइन बना के दी ना मुझे उस स्टोरी पर. एंड आई वाज लाइक, व्हाट डू यू मेक आउट ऑफ इट? बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे ये इंपॉर्टेंट भी है कंसिडरिंग पाकिस्तानी मार्केट और लेट्स से ग्लोबल ऑडियंसेस. But then again, it kind of like there's a very thin line between like journalism ethics, or are you just like, how do you put it like that?
So my relationship with clickbait has been very interesting because I've sort of gone back and forth on it. Okay? So let's say that there is an article that I'll give you an example. We had to do an article on global warming. Okay? And I know कि बहुत एक छोटी audience है जो global warming के बारे में पढ़ना चाहती है या पढ़ेगी, especially with the kind of target audience that we had for a particular platform. ठीक है?
Okay.
तो उसमें I still remember मैंने किया था clickbait. I said, oh, like X hottest pictures of this actor. Inside the piece, there were just random pictures with like little snippets of like
Angelina
global
Jolie को तो नहीं लगा दिया था आपने, like 2010 flood images and global warming and all, like yeah.
तस्वीर है क्योंकि उसमें वो बंदा थोड़ा ट्रेंड कर रहा था ना. I was like, okay. So what I did was I took like pictures of that guy and उसके साथ like थोड़े facts about global warming, right? Like a basic walkthrough. But on the other hand, like there are also publications that what's an example I can use without sounding like an asshole? There will be some publications जो कि let's say कि कोई celebrity है, female celebrity है, उसकी तस्वीरें लगा के bold pics revealed and released and like relax yourself, like so I am very against clickbait when it punches down or when it is harming a community that is already endangered, like women. So like let's say a woman, काफी दफा news आती है, woman sets her husband on fire, but like the other part of the news where he tried to rape the daughter will conveniently be left out in the headline, right? So I think that if you're using clickbait to get people to read about something that is information, like has some value, and again, this can be debated कि value is different from person to person.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, but if it's responsible clickbait, which I don't know is a thing, that's something that perhaps can be looked at. I think that's fine. But when it's clickbait with the intent to harm, to hurt, to cause damage, to get clicks, to sensationalize, that is something I find myself constantly moving away from.
And I don't know, recently, so I was after Queen's death, I was following like all the Western newspapers, and हमारा जो clickbait होता है, मैं थोड़ा derogatory नहीं हो रहा, but हमारे clickbait को बहुत ना उस तरह करके push aside किया जाता है कि ये क्या फजूल चीजें post कर रहे हैं, देखो like when it's about actresses and like किसी ने किसी के साथ कोई scandal and all. But अगर वही चीज को आप इंग्लिश में कर दें, there's this very famous Camellia Gate tape nahi, a conversation between now King Charles and like his partner, और वो एक प्रॉपर लिटरली वो एक इट्स नॉट अ सेक्स टेप बट वो आपस में बात कर रहे हैं, दे लिटरली मतलब मॉडर्न डे सेक्सटिंग, और वो डेली में और आई थिंक गार्डियन में 3-4 जगह पब्लिश हुआ है। लेकिन वही चीज जब अंग्रेजी में होती है तो वो हमारी एसईसी एबी को इतनी बुरी नहीं लगती कि लेट्स से
हाँ
समथिंग ऑन द कार्डेशियंस और समथिंग आई डोंट नो केंडल जेनर ने कहीं से कुछ एलए में कुछ कर दिया, बट वही चीज अगर कराची या लाहौर में कहीं हो जाता है तो वो लोगों को ना बिल्कुल ये क्या देयर लाइक वेस्टर्न वानाबीज एंड देयर लाइक हॉलीवुड वानाबीज। डू यू थिंक दिस इज अ केस? आई पर्सनली फेल्ट इट कि ये होता है हमारे यहाँ।
So there are so many layers to this conversation, and I will dissect them all one by one.
या श्योर, मैंने
Firstly,
लंबा सवाल पूछ लिया थोड़ा बट लाइक या इट्स
though, again, clickbait happens across the board. Absolutely, uh, allegedly. So because I don't want to get sued, करता है
या
50 और करती हैं absolutely. ये अभी भी recently some I don't know insider some publication like that posted like pictures of Meghan Markle crying. Meghan Markle sheds tears for the Queen.
या आई
Like
सॉ
yeah,
दैट या
cried. My mother, who's never met the Queen, cried. Like, I'm sure Meghan being at the funeral will cry. She had some form of interaction with the Queen, right? But no, that's news because this person, this Ikta Kapoor Bahu, who has like torn this family apart, is crying for her sass. Like, ये जो है ना, like हर जगह होता है, but हमें हमें absolutely when we're consuming this content, when a phadda is happening between Harry and Kate and Meghan and whatever the other brother's name is, oh, we love it because घर पे नहीं हो रहा phadda, English में
हाँ
हो रहा
हाँ,
है
ये
phadda.
एग्जैक्टली ये दिस वाज माय पॉइंट, क्योंकि मैं आजकल क्राउन फिर से देख रहा हूँ आफ्टर द क्वींस डेड, आई डोंट नो व्हाई दो, बट लाइक या आई वाज अबाउट टू से दैट इट्स
Yeah.
एंड
For instance,
yeah,
yeah, पूछो.
नहीं you go on फिर I'll add something.
So ironically, this is the same crowd. So I used to do a lot of Instagram lives, and मेरी आदत है to default to English. It's not because I don't know Urdu. It's just that that's been a mode of communication for me for the
Yep.
longest time. ये वही crowd है जो आके उस हर live पे, हर video पे, हर
उर्दू में बात करो।
article उर्दू में बात करें. आप उर्दू में कंज्यूम करो ना, मुझे क्यों बोल रहे हो? आपको आपको मसाला सारा चाहिए अंग्रेजी में. यहाँ पे कुछ होता है तो आपने गालियां देनी है अंग्रेजी में, फेसबुक पे आके बात करनी है, इंस्टाग्राम पे आके बात करनी है, आपने कमेंट करना है अंग्रेजी में, लेकिन बर्डन ऑफ स्पीकिंग उर्दू मैं करूँ. आई वुड लव टू स्पीक उर्दू, आई वुड लव टू स्पीक उर्दू, बट डू यू वांट टू and and
Yeah.
and set all of that aside, like आपका जो खुद का एक sense of वो क्या कहते हैं like post colonial hangover है, where आपको खुद की न्यूज कंज्यूम करने में मसला होता है, लेकिन आपको ये भी है कि हमारे लोग इतने पायस हैं, हमने तो अंग्रेजों को निकाल दिया, हमारे लोग इतने पायस हैं, we cannot do anything wrong. What cheating? What people cheat on each other? What people like what sexual assault exists in this society? No. तो ये जो सारे like mix of behaviors है ना, वो is very much an audience problem that they refuse to understand. And I really do believe that being on the internet tends to bring out the worst in all of us. Like I remember there was this पता नहीं डॉक्टर स्ट्रेंज रिलीज होनी थी, फिर वो पोस्टपोन हो गई, बहुत बैक एंड फोर्थ हुआ था. And somebody straight up DM, I did an article on it being postponed or whatever. Somebody straight up DM me saying, I hope you kill yourself. And I was like, what did I do? And I genuinely, I was like, मैंने ऐसा क्या बोल दिया? Like, मैंने
क्या
क्या बोला?
मतलब
She's
है
like,
like
yeah. And I was like, this person responded saying, I didn't read the article, but you're spreading misinformation. I was like, read the article. पढ़ लो, देख लो क्या लिखा हुआ
it's
है. मैं
it's
अपनी
yeah, it's so
मेरे पास
fascinating.
ने आके खान को तो नहीं मारा ना, जो मैं उसको चाह रही हूँ कि उसकी मूवी नहीं आए. मैंने तो जाके देखी भी है, मुझे तो मतलब क्या है. आप इंगेज तो करो, आप पढ़ो, खुद रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी तो लो थोड़ी.
आई फील लाइक ये खैर बहुत लंबी डिबेट हो जाएगी, बट दिस ऑल उर्दू इंग्लिश थिंग, बिकॉज मेरे भी कुछ कोर्सेज में ऐसा होता है वेयर वी हैव टू लाइक एनालाइज लैंग्वेज एंड डिस्कोर्स. आई फील लाइक हमारी ऑडियंस का ये आज से हमारी क्या लाइक लेट्स से पाकिस्तान इंडिया, आई डोंट नो एनीवन इन बांग्लादेश, मैं शायद उनका भी बता सकता हूँ, बट हमारा असल में इशू ये रहा है कि व्हेन इट्स इन इंग्लिश हम उसको एक अलग बॉक्स में रखते हैं, and when it's in Urdu or let's say in Hindi, तो आई डोंट नो वो लोगों को ना बहुत टू क्लोज टू होम वाली फील्स आना शुरू हो जाती हैं कि यार ये अगर मैं उर्दू में या हिंदी में बोलूंगा तो ये तो मेरे घर में भी होता है. I've seen my, I don't know, not to name anyone, but I've seen my parents in this situation. I've seen my grandparents. I've seen my father's cousins in these situations. So let's just keep this in English. और ये इंग्लिश में आपस में ये अंग्रेज लड़ते रहे और ये चीटिंग वीटिंग सब इनके यहाँ चलता रहे और हम अपनी पाई मतलब एक वो सो कॉल्ड पार्टी को बस मेंटेन करते हैं और हम इन चीजों के बारे में बात ही नहीं करते. बिकॉज लाइक आई नो सम द मोस्ट अपर क्लास फैमिलीज इन कराची, लाइक वेरी वेल टू डू फैमिलीज, जिनके यहाँ मैंने कभी नहीं सोचा कि इस तरह की कोई कॉन्वर्जेशन हुई होगी. मतलब जो आजकल लेट्स से आप मतलब वेस्टर्न टैबलॉइड्स में पढ़ते हो वो सब पाकिस्तान में भी होता है. लाइक मुझे पता है वो सब होता है, बट हम उन चीज़ों के बारे में बात नहीं करते. एंड ये बस हमारा एक इनेट सा फियर है कि अगर हमने उन चीज़ों के बारे में बात करना शुरू कर दी, ऑल्दो हर चीज़ होती है पाकिस्तान में. ये लाइक फॉर एनीवन हुज वाचिंग हुज प्रॉब्ली अ सेकंड जनरेशन ओवरसीज पाकिस्तानी, पाकिस्तान में हर चीज होती है. बिकॉज आई व्हेन आई केम हियर आई एक्चुअली यूज्ड टू डिबंक ऑल ऑफ इट बिकॉज आई मेट अ लॉट ऑफ सेकंड थर्ड जनरेशन पाकिस्तानीज इधर और इंग्लैंड में. एंड उनका तो कोई सीन लाइक लेट्स से इस्लामाबाद इस्लामाबाद दे नो, बट कराची के बारे में तो they think that we live in like मतलब वो gangs of Wasipur चल रहा है कराची में all the time. Like I'm not even kidding. They used that's
Yeah.
the Karachi opinion. Because यहाँ पे यूरोप में it's mostly Punjabis और Kashmiris and the Karachiites are more in North America क्योंकि यहाँ पे Karachiites नहीं है. एंड उनको लिटरली लगता है कि बस आप सड़क से निकलते हो और कोई ऐसे 9mm लेकर आता है आपके यहाँ पे रखता है और फोन शोन लेके चला जाता है. दैट्स लाइक आई डोंट नो. खैर वी आर गोइंग लाइक हम दूसरे टेंशन पे जा रहे हैं. But yes, yeah, we've talked about the writing and journalism as a career and all, and something else. What I would talk about is like let's say it's career specific as well, but like as a woman in this industry in Pakistan, do you think कि कुछ एक certain factors हैं, like I cannot tell, you can probably tell, जिसमें इस इंडस्ट्री के अंदर एक specific attitude और specific treatment आपको face करना पड़ता है. एज एन एग्जाम्पल वुड बी अगर किसी पब्लिकेशन का इंस्टाग्राम लाइव है, मैं कुछ इंसिनुएट नहीं कर रहा बट जो रियलिटी है, दे वुड प्रॉब्ली वांट यू रादर देन अ मेल कॉलीग टू डू इट, लाइक or something. Like do you think that is still a very much a reality, like let's say sun, like किसी भी publication का, it's a, not to name anyone.
So, so here's the thing. I can't say for sure because it could very well be true. Okay, I'm not saying it's not, but I have not experienced it, and I don't know if that um, was necessarily true in my case. Okay, because when it came to me doing Instagram lives, that was pretty much just by default of me being the only one there. Like,
Yeah,
it was more of like a resource thing as opposed to like a gender thing. But at the same time, does that mean it doesn't hold true for other places or even the places that I have worked at? I don't know. I can't say. It's something that I don't have experience in. Is it something that I see where people want to put women forward in certain situations because they know that numbers aayenge? Yes. Was there a learning that I picked up over the years कि अगर आप एक specific thumbnail use करोगे और एक specific gender को लगाओगे तो clicks आएंगी? Absolutely. So वो definitely है, like that comes that's something that you see, but because my personal experience has been so restricted in this area, I don't think I'm the person to speak about it.
but let's be very honest, is that a bad thing though from a business standpoint? मतलब अगर आप political correctness को थोड़ा मतलब side पे रखते हैं, मतलब like wherever you go in the world, like a lot of places just hire women for a specific, like again I'm not insinuating but I want to talk about this, like how many clubs or bars do you go to जहाँ बंदे bartenders होते हैं? नहीं होते, because I don't know, naturally people would want a female bartender. That's the reality of the world ना. मतलब इसमें कोई पाकिस्तान या वेस्ट वाली बात नहीं है. So even if publications are doing this from a business stand, do you think that's a ये मतलब बहुत dangerous trajectory, I know that, but like if you want to talk about it, because
so I think when we say that, right, it takes away from the merit of the women that we're talking about.
yeah, that's also true.
that जितनी औरतें अभी काम कर रही हैं किसी भी फील्ड में उससे बहुत ज्यादा होनी चाहिए. I think that when we say things like these, which may have a certain level of truth to them, because in certain cases they are very clear business decisions that if we put this person who looks a certain way in our movie, in our show, in our at our publication, in our videos, it will get views, right? That could very well be a business decision, but that is taking merit away from the woman
who's working.
Done on two ends, right? The business is taking away that merit from the woman they've hired, and the audience is taking merit away from the woman that they're seeing. So in both cases, it's the woman getting her ass to her on a plate while working twice as hard or managing घर का काम and business and business का जो भी है. So I think either way we don't win, and but I can just tell you that is it an audience expectation to see a certain kind of woman? Yes. Does pretty privilege exist? Yes. Does it get you places? Yes. Does that mean that it's a safety net? Probably not. Again, ये पूरी एक privilege की भी conversation है. Like definitely privilege, exists between women as well. उसमें class आ जाता है, उसमें pretty privilege, 50 चीजें. So like this is just something that's unfolding. But what I will say is that let's not take merit away from women, right?
Definitely, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's something, I wanted to talk about as well. We're almost at the 45-minute mark, so we still have like 15 minutes. And yeah, let's go towards like just ending the conversation. And again, again, मेरा हमेशा ये क्वेश्चन थी, like anyone who's watching who's probably like in second, third year, first year, जो कि सोच रहे हैं about their career paths or they're going through a journey, especially post COVID. Uh, what would you want anyone who wants to become a good writer, or let's say go into the journalism scene, like some, like, I won't say like tips and tricks for what quick cliches are word hai, but like generally what trajectory should they follow? What should they think about? What should be their like thought process? कि इस फील्ड में अगर eventually excel करना है, so how do you go about it? Like, would you want to say something?
Okay. Firstly, अगर आपके पास आपके writing samples हैं that you feel super confident about, firstly to proofread them. There's so many times. So I've also done a fair bit of hiring, and there are so many times where I will see a candidate who, like, it looks bad when you have certain grammatical errors, and I know you have potential, So just proofread. B, let's say that you make it, before the interview, let's talk about pitching. Pitch every. I don't care if you think you are not good enough, pitch karo. The worst thing that will happen is that you won't get a reply. And the best thing that will happen, you will. So shoot your shot. Har jagah pitch karo, work on your cover letter. Even though I think cover letters are bullshit, I'm against cover letters.
Yeah, I don't get the concept at all. मैं तो एक टेम्पलेट बना के रखा हूँ, उसी में मतलब मैं ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का नाम रिप्लेस करके डियर रिप्लेस करके भेज देता हूँ. Like, I don't care.
Do that. Use tools available online to help you as much as you can, right? अब तो जैसे for instance you're facing writer's block. I don't know if this counts as cheating or not, but अभी copy AI वगैरह इतने tools हैं. At least they help you brainstorm if nothing else, right? So do that, and when let's say you make it to the interview round, right? आपने pitch कर दिया, आपको जवाब मिल गया, आप interview round पे आ गए. When you're talking to somebody, you don't want to sound bored. You don't want to sound like
aggressive
you are
and
aggressive. You're too good for the job, but also you don't want to sound like this company should walk all over me. You also don't want to sound like that.
Late नहीं जाना बिल्कुल कंपनी के सामने, like ये वाला scene है यार. That's true.
Yeah, be friendly, be nice, try to understand that while you are being screened, you're also being considered as a fit for a certain culture, right? So obviously do that bit of research as well. But honestly, primarily, अगर आप एक remote writing position ढूंढ रहे हो, just start pitching. Just start pitching. Make sure everything is top notch. If you think that your writing isn't good, get somebody else to read it. We tend to hate our writing more than others do. So get a second opinion, get a third opinion, and don't compromise on pay. Like if you feel like you want to start with a certain pay scale and you know that that is the market rate, right? Like ये भी एक चीज है market rate, by the way. ये मैंने नहीं किया था और मैंने बहुत सफर किया है market rate पता नहीं करने से. लोग आके मुझे बोलते हैं, oh, this is how much you should be charging, and I'm like I'm like rupees off of that. Like मैं तो घटिया घटिया trajectory रही है मेरी. I don't know why you've called me for this, but I can tell you guys.
Yeah, I think everyone goes through that, especially जब like 3-4 years ago जब ये सब start हो रहा था, like all these digital
हाँ,
publications. So yeah, like
yeah.
I've struggled with that as well. मैं इतने कम पैसे बोलता हूँ कि मुझसे ज्यादा पैसे बोले नहीं जा रहे होते, इतनी मेरी औकात है ज्यादा पैसे बोलने की नहीं लेता. It kind of like goes back in your mind, like back and forth. Or but yeah, go on. You can.
Fight that instinct. Look up the market rate. Don't be afraid to ask. Be open to negotiations, but don't settle for peanuts. And like I think now just keep an eye out on LinkedIn. इतने Facebook पे groups हैं, Twitter पे hiring हो रही होती है. Just keep your eye out. Everybody is looking for a writer, and if anybody is telling you कि इस चीज में scope नहीं है, they probably haven't done their research. बहुत लोग writers ढूंढ रहे हैं. And I think if this is something that you want to do as a side hustle because your parents are like, "नहीं बेटा, 9 to 5 is important." ढूंढो, करो, live your life, do your
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's many like I wanted to talk about this, how important is a stable day job, and ये जो AI वाली आपने बात करी, because it kind of is part of my program here as well. The intersection of AI with like art and writing, but like we're like ये बहुत लंबा topic हो जाएगा. We can probably like have a couple of other people over. I can call you in as well, and we can have like a group sort of a thing with like 2 or 3 other people as well. But thank you so much, Sajeer, for coming onto this platform. And I'm just starting out, but like having people like you who've been in this place before me, like is always I won't say like encouragement hoti hai thodi si. But yeah, and anything you would like to say, closing comments, and then we'll just wrap it up.
Firstly, I want to say that you're doing a great job, and I think that this has been lovely. I just want to say good luck to you, good luck to everybody listening to this, and yeah, like thank you for having me here. मुझे अभी imposter syndrome है ना, मुझे तो थोड़ा मुझे भी ये है कि ये मुझे इतनी इज्जत क्यों दे रहा है, but thank you, and I think I had a great time. Lots of love to everybody listening, and yeah.
Thank you. And everyone who's listening, this will be available on all podcast platforms, including Spotify. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. And if you want to get in touch with me, collaborate with me, just let me know. And yeah, thank you so much. Let's end it.